I used to just keep training more and more and more. I mean, it would seem that doing more would just mean more results, and what would happen is I would train for, say, 6 to 8 weeks, have pretty good training results, and then 1 to 2 really rubbish weeks where I would have a little niggle, or I would just start to feel lethargic, I'd lose motivation. And then what would have to happen is I would take some time out, have to then try and get back in the rhythm of things, or to try and get pain-free again. And by the time I came back, I'd pretty much lost all that momentum that I'd had in the initial phase, and I was very close to back where I started again, and this vicious cycle continued. So in hindsight, I'd wasted so much energy, and instead of, all I needed to do was take my recovery just a little bit more serious, and as serious as I did my training, and I'd probably be able to continue week in, week out. So when I say recovery, what I don't mean is the little 1% things like massages and ice baths. I mean the 99% stuff that you know you should be doing, but a lot of us don't, and that is nutrition, sleep, and then probably more importantly, tracking our training load. Simplest way to do that is just don't do more than your body can actually handle. The way I like to do this with players is to make gradual and sensible progressions with our training at the right time. So progressive overload, which we've already spoke about. 2, training the right things on the right days of the week in the right volumes. So again, looking at the peak performance protocol, which we've already spoke about. And then lastly, looking at taking intentional deload weeks. So structure on the training load progressively, building it up, and then deloading and building back up again. It would be great if we could just keep building week on week without any deload, but ultimately there's going to be a cost to that, and as you train to get fitter and stronger week on week, you also get a thing called accumulative fatigue, and accumulative fatigue is a wear and tear on your body, your joints, your tendons. That's when you feel run down, you feel lethargic, you can even start to pick up niggles if it goes for too long. A deload is just a short period, maybe 5 to 7 days, where we're decreasing volume or intensity of our training. So deloads can be very individual to each player. Some players can handle more than others, and some can train much longer without needing one, but it's very dependent on your on-pitch schedule and off-pitch habits, as well as what your fitness is currently like. So in season, your coaches most likely are strategically putting deloads into your training. So weeks where you've got bigger gaps between games, they might look at that as a chance to have a deload, or potentially by just naturally reducing running distance or the amount of high-speed meters you're doing in a training week. And then the next week, they'll then rebuild again. In a gym setting, an easy example of deloading intensity would be week 1, you're doing a 100 kilogram back squat, week 2, 102.5, week 3, 105, week 4, 107.5, week 5, 110, but then week 6, you deload by reducing the weight by about 40 to 50%, but you keep the reps and sets the same. Alternatively, you can do the same weight, so the 110 kilograms that you built up to, but then you reduce the sets and reps by a 2/3. So rather than doing 3 sets of 6, which is 18 reps, you do 3 sets of 2, which is 6 reps, with the exact same weight. So that's the intensity versus the volume deload. So to keep it simple, I would just say auto-regulate your deloads, and by auto-regulate I mean just go how you feel, build up in a 4 to 6 week training cycle, and when you start to feel those factors that I've mentioned, just pull back a little bit and then restart and go again. Like, see if you plan intentional deloads into your programme, you're going to be much fresher, much more often, you're going to get way less niggles, and you're going to see way more progress over the longer term. So your task today is to tell me, when was the last time you had an intentional deload? I would love to know when it was, or if you actually do them whatsoever. And no big deal if you don't, because a lot of players don't do them, and that's how they pick up these niggles and start to stall in their progress. But just let me know either way, and I can help you how you can build them in and improve your training. Stay fresh and be available on game day.